Yeah, we're going to have to abbreviate ours, aren't we?
At Citizens Tri-County Bank, our main focus is you, our customer, and the community in which we all live. From fairs and festivals to supporting education and local organizations, Citizens Tri-County Bank is made of people who care. People who want to make a difference. Whether it's a new home purchase, real-time online banking, Value Plus checking, or whatever your financial need may be, Citizens Tri-County Bank is the only community bank you'll ever need.
We are having that as part of our, I'm not kidding.
Oh my gosh.
It's us. Are you ready for some football? We're live on YouTube.
Valley TV Channel 18. First time ever THP Tailgating for Safety. That's the Tennessee Highway Patrol Tailgating for Safety event here at the Bledsoe County, Sequatchie County football game. The biggest rivalry event of the year. To have this here in a small town is a really special event, and that's why we have come together to talk about safety. Buckle up. That's the point of today, is to make sure that everybody remembers to wear their seatbelt. Come take the buckle pledge. It's right over here to my right with the rollover simulator. I'm going to tell you a little bit about why you're going to want to take that buckle pledge in just a minute. Not only do you want to sign the buckle pledge for your safety, to educate your family, because not just you needs to buckle up, but your family also needs to buckle up. But there's going to be a prize and a drawing that's going to happen at halftime, and we're going to announce the winner. What you're going to get is you're going to get a pair of UTC football tickets, and I've got a list right here that we'll go back over in a minute of what game you want to go to. There's also some gas tickets and some restaurant tickets, but you want to go over right here to my right. If you guys want to walk over, there's some people standing behind the camera that you can't see, but go over, sign the buckle pledge. I have it right here. It is, I pledge to wear my seatbelt every trip, every time. I'm going to sign it. I'm going to pass it to the gentleman, and I'll get to talking about who they are in just a minute. They're going to sign it too, but first I want to let you know we've got free food, free hot dogs, free water, and the reason that we picked the football game is because Ethan told me earlier, how many people are we expecting here tonight?
I would say there'll be 1,000.
1,000 people to promote the message of driving safety. And the point that I talked with so much, a man that has been very instrumental in educating me about this event and talking with me about this event, is Lieutenant Harmon. And he said, if you were playing a football game and everybody's wearing helmets, everybody's padded up, would you go out there and play without wearing your pads or your helmet? No, you would not. You would not go out there and do that. Same thing is when you get in a car, you want to make sure and get this seatbelt out. Buckle you, buckle your family, anybody that you get in the car with, tell your mom, tell your dad, you need to buckle up because that helps you keep you safe on the road. Other things that I want to talk about today are a little bit of stats. You know, this rivalry game is a big deal, and I'm going to tell you why. First game, 1928. Bledsoe won 50-0. 1949, Sequatchie in this series wins 40-6. 1940, the biggest spread, that's what we're talking about here, 72-0. And in 2000, the biggest spread for Sequatchie was 55-0. And the average victory for winning over all these games, or over all this time, was 10 points.
That looks like some Mike Smith information right there.
It is.
There we
He's
go.
standing behind the camera. He was so kind to come over and educate me about this because it is really important. I mean, we have people here that have been here for generations. They play football here. They've been watching the games here. Now they're seeing their grandkids come and they're watching games. I mean, small town football, you guys, this is a big night for our community.
Oh, yeah.
Here to my right is Ethan Lloyd, because one thing that's very important, Mr. Charlie Boring, Mr. Tron Barker. They have worked together, Citizens Tri-County Bank, Bledsoe Telephone Cooperative, collaborating to bring this event to you. First time live ever. They think it's important. Let me let them talk just a little bit about what this event means to them, why they care so much about their community. Sorry, I got distracted by some dummies over there with the rollover simulator. But you're no dummy.
I don't know about all that.
You wear your
but
seatbelt.
I do wear my seatbelt.
Because
all
you know
the
you're
time.
you're at high risk.
Click it or ticket, seatbelt safety. They keep throwing the dummies out of the truck over here.
Yes.
So, just happy to be here. Happy to put this on Valley TV's YouTube channel, Channel 18. We're going to live stream the ball game tonight. So, just tell everybody kind of why we get together here. This Bledsoe-Sequatchie County game pulls out the biggest crowd, percentage-wise, of anything I know of in the Sequatchie Valley. We all the time compare ourselves over here in the Sequatchie Valley to things we see happening in Chattanooga. 650,000 people live in Hamilton County alone. There's only 27,000 people in our entire cooperative service area.
Yeah.
So when we get this kind of crowd together, percentage-wise, we have got a bigger gathering than they get over there, even for like Riverbend or things like that.
Yeah.
So this is a huge event. So we're just happy to be here, happy to put it on TV for everyone to view that can't be here, or they can go home and they can play it later
Right.
after a while.
The
So
YouTube link.
the YouTube link, Valley TV Channel 18 is the YouTube link. So they can go to that. Be sure to like us on YouTube if you found us there, and you'll get alerts on what other events that we've got going on. But so we were happy to invite Trooper Harmon in to help promote safety. And I'm going to step off here and let Charlie and John talk about what this rivalry means and what it means to give back to the community. And I'm going to be over to Rollover Simulator.
It could
Hey,
be a
it could be
cemetery
the
because that's
cemetery.
what happens.
Yep.
Now wait a minute, Ethan. You can't go yet because I haven't told you some very important news.
What's the important news?
Well, you're a white male, and apparently you drive a truck.
I'm going to read my Bible, but I hate no one.
Well, you do need to read your Bible. That is important, especially if you don't wear your seatbelt, because you are the highest demographic for people not wearing their seatbelt.
A
White
white man in a
males
pickup
that drive
truck.
a truck.
Like
That would be
with
you.
My kids standing up in the seat beside me and stuff?
That's right.
No, never happens.
Never.
Never.
No.
Never.
But I just wanted to let you know that important information before you
Well, I
left.
appreciate that.
Okay.
Charlie, do you have a pickup truck?
Yes, I do.
John?
Yes, I do.
Oh, they're all in the highest section
Hey,
of demographics.
I gotta know. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Now, they've got a purple bucket and a blue bucket over there
Yes.
for the game tickets. Not originally from the valley here.
Warrior versus Indian.
Where am I gonna drop your
Who do you think's going
pledge?
to have the most pledges?
Where am I
Warriors
gonna-
or Indians?
Well, I don't know. Where am I dropping yours? I'll carry it over there for you while
Well,
I
I'm
go
a
over.
warrior.
Okay, Bledsoe County resident.
Sorry, John.
Hey, don't apologize.
That's okay. We'll be friendly across lines.
That's right.
Yeah, this to my left right here, John Barker. Tell me a little bit about what inspired you to collaborate on this event.
This again was a lot of Charlie's brainstorming. He said, we do a lot for the communities together, and separately, he said, let's get together and do something together at the ball game because nothing goes on there. So it was his idea a year ago to get together. We brought it up here this year and glad to do it. I think we have a bigger crowd this year than we did last year.
Yes, excellent. And guys who just stepped in, this is Sergeant Bailey. He's going to talk a little bit more later, but I just wanted you to know in case you're wondering who just came on camera. But I'm going to toss it over. Wait, I do have one more thing. Why do you love giving back to your community?
Well, that's the easiest answer I'll ever give because if we don't give back, people from other communities are not going to give back. If you're in your community, you got to give back.
Yeah.
That's simple.
That's a real passion of mine, and you're an alumni.
That's correct. Yes, ma'am.
Of
Sequatchie County.
I mean-
I'm in the purple, Charlie's in the blue. Yeah.
What's amazing is that me and John played against each other also.
That's right.
Really?
Yes, we did.
We're not going to tell
He
what
might look
year
a lot
that
older
was.
than I am, but we did.
You played together. What were your positions?
I was fullback and cornerback. And of course, I don't remember John. I don't know what he was.
I was a receiver.
Receiver.
Yes.
So what
I
is?
probably hit you, didn't
That's
I?
right. Exactly. Exactly.
So I mean, what is it like to be back and see this game?
Love it. I love it. And it means a lot more. I mean, when you have children in it, it means a lot more to you. but you still never get over it. I mean, you're always rooting for one side or the other. Of course,
Yeah.
I'm always rooting for Bledsoe, so I love it.
It's just neat to be back and remember those times and to see other youth going out there, and you can probably relate to how they're feeling tonight.
Absolutely, and then like Charlie said, the older you get, the more it means back. You remember yourself a lot better than you probably really was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was great.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Charlie, tell me a little bit about Bledsoe Telephone Cooperative and this, going live for this event, first time ever.
Well, this is the first time ever we have went live with any event. It's something we've wanted to do for a while, and this just seemed, Lieutenant Harmon came in, and we decided this was the perfect time to do it. We wanted to put forth any effort to get back to the community with, something about safety and, the ball game. So it just seemed like a great time to do it.
Yeah.
It's difficult, but I hope it all works out great too.
No, I mean, behind the scenes, I've been hearing, really what goes on into creating this kind of event is.
Oh, that's
It's
reason
quite a lot of work.
Starts 3 days ahead.
ESPN starts 3 days. Yes, we have quite a big team working with us today. Everybody's working after hours here to make this event special, but you do so much for our community in general by bringing TV, celebrating what's good in our community.
Mhm.
So it's really
Well, we're actually wanting to set up, we have the capability of setting up 2 or 3 channels. And we were wanting to have a Sequatchie channel and a Bledsoe channel, wanting to get the school systems involved in it so they could start running news and press, things like that.
Yeah.
And then together, at this game, everybody come together.
I mean, Ollie the Otter's really excited about it, so I think he just photobombed us.
Yeah.
There's a social media opportunity. Oh, y'all just missed it. Come on down, come on over, or get online. Right now, you can see it Channel 18.
Yes.
You can watch it live on YouTube, but, there's so much happening also with fiber. Do you want to say anything about that before you exit?
We're going through a big build out. I know a lot of people are wanting it tomorrow, but if everyone will be patient with us, we're going to get it to you. It's just going to take us a little while to do it,
Right.
but we are going to get it built out.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Any closing remarks before you guys start to get ready for the game and go get some free food?
We just appreciate the Highway Patrol doing everything, Sergeant Bailey and all that. I know it was a lot of work on their part and all that, so we appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you for having us.
Wear their seatbelts.
Okay.
Employees wear their seatbelts.
Thank you very much, Ms. Katie.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
guys. Okay, they're going to step off camera for a bit, but Sergeant Bailey is going to remain. I told you that I'd let him talk in just a minute. How are you this evening?
I'm doing great.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having
For
us.
taking time. Now, this event for you is even more important because you are out there seeing the results of people not wearing their seatbelt.
Yes, what we do, we see it on a daily basis. People, what happens in a crash when they do wear their seatbelt, and also when they don't wear their seatbelt. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to bring the seatbelt simulator over here to kind of show people what happens when you don't wear it. Because if you're involved in a crash, that's too late.
Right.
To learn about seatbelts. We want you to learn before then.
Yes, yes. Now, have you ever had to tell a family member
Yes.
some disappointing news?
Too many times. I've had to tell family members, that their loved one hadn't come on. I think the most memorable one is I had to tell a 98-year-old woman her son died in a car crash.
Oh.
And that was one of my hardest ones I ever had to do. And a lot of times with the seatbelt, you're not wearing the seatbelt or you do something stupid to cause a crash or DUI or going too fast.
Right.
Those are preventable accidents. And, that makes it even harder because, once you tell that family that a child died or a parent died, and then they ask, well, how did it happen?
What happened?
And so we explained to them that, they wasn't wearing their seatbelt. Well, my child always wears their seatbelt. Well, they wasn't wearing it at that time, and it's hard for parents to understand that.
Right, because they're trying to understand. You mean they didn't wear their seatbelts and they could still be alive if they have worn their seatbelt, and that maybe they start to take a little guilt.
Right, and we see a lot of crash reports where on the crash reports it's asked It asked, was the person wearing their seatbelt, yes or no? Trooper answers no. And then they said, would seatbelts made a difference? And too many times that we see that the trooper marks yes. And that's hard to swallow, especially in a smaller community like Bledsoe County or Sequatchie County, where everybody knows each other. It makes it even harder.
And I do think it's particularly challenging, in a small community. We've grown up here. We feel so safe on these roads.
Yeah, we
so
do.
many country back roads, and it's the old road, or it's Lower East Valley Road, or we're just
Right.
kind of, that's okay. We're going a short trip. We'll be okay. Hop in the truck.
Yeah, and we see that quite often, where if somebody's taking a family going to Florida, everybody in the car will put their seatbelt on.
Right.
But if they're going to the store to get milk or going to grandmother's house,
Just going to
and
Big.
it's 3 miles down the road,
Yeah.
they won't put their seatbelt. And
know.
we even have parents that will not put their kids in car seats
Right.
because it's such a short trip, and they're
Yeah.
so used to traveling that road. Well, statistics have shown that you're more likely to have a crash 1 to 3 miles from your house.
Wow.
And that's where most of our rollovers occur, is typically 1 to 3 miles from your house.
I mean, that's so preventable.
It definitely
And
is.
so upsetting to think you could just be that close.
Right.
And it's just that close to home.
Well, and if you think about it, when you get in a car, and I know me, I've got kids, small kids, and they'll scream and holler, fight with each other. Well, there's a lot of things going on, so you're kind of distracted from the road to begin with. And then you don't
I
have
feel
that
that.
seatbelt on, and that's what happens is a lot of times they'll run off the road and then try to overcorrect, get back, and when they do, that's when it causes them to flip.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times, there's a struggle for parents telling their kids, put your seatbelt on, and then the kids don't do it.
Right.
And
Yeah,
that's a
and
big battle sometimes. for
Yeah,
people.
and we have a lot of parents approach us and ask us the same thing. It says, hey, I make sure they wear their seatbelt. Well, while I'm driving, paying attention to the road, they take their
Seatbelt off. Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But the simulator over here, I encourage people to come over to see it because it's really real life, or it depicts real life.
Yeah.
And we find this in crashes that we work, whichever way the vehicle is rolling, typically you're going to come out that way.
Right.
And so if the vehicle's rolling to the right, you come out that way and you land on the pavement, that's going to hurt.
Yeah.
But what happens is that your own car will actually run over the top of you. You got a 3,000-pound car landing on top of you.
Yeah.
That's really going to sting.
Right. And you can see that right there in our rollover simulator. We've had some extra guests join us now here at Tailgating for Safety. Start all the way to my left. Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Channing Barker.
Okay.
I'm Josie Wiley. I'm Jill Anderson.
Wonderful. Thank you guys for joining us today. And what are you here to promote?
Seat belt safety.
Why would you want to do that?
It's important to wear them.
Is it
Well, now,
important?
do y'all wear your seatbelts?
Yes.
Both of you? You actually have a connection with the Highway Patrol, right?
Yes.
What about you? Who do you know with the Highway Patrol?
Lieutenant Harmon is my uncle.
Your uncle? And what about you?
Trooper Anderson is my dad.
Okay. Now,
Ah.
Trooper Anderson ever tell you how good his sergeant is to him? Okay. Now, have you ever seen your parents or other adults or even kids in your school not wearing your seatbelt? Now, have you ever got in a car with them while they're wearing a seatbelt or not wearing
Not
a
wearing the
seatbelt?
seatbelt.
And that's the other point I want to make is when they get in that car and that one person is unbuckled, well, become a flying object inside that car if it rolls over. Even if you have your seatbelt on and you have somebody that doesn't have their seatbelt on, that person is going to cause damage to you.
Right.
Also, and a lot of people don't realize, is they want to take their pets with them. Well, they actually make pets that has seatbelts on it. I know Lieutenant Harmon, your uncle, he has a chocolate labs, and they weigh 85, 90 pounds. Well, that vehicle rolling over and that lab going over can cause damage. Also, trash in your car or baseball equipment. I know you play softball, right? And you play basketball? Volleyball. But that equipment, needs
It's
to be
all-
right. It needs to be in the furthest back of the vehicle where it doesn't cause damage to you in case you do get in a rollover or a crash.
Yeah, or somehow secured. No, that's a really good point because people don't think about that I have to worry about other people. Oops, I think we just got photo bombed again. People don't think about that is that I have to, consider the other people in the car when I'm getting in with it. And so, what do they do? I mean, you can't obviously make them put on their seatbelt.
Well,
So that could be an awkward situation.
And it's just like, I told my kids all my life, if you get somebody that's drinking and driving, don't get in the car.
Right.
Well, I tell my kids the same thing.
Same thing,
If you get in the car and somebody doesn't have a seatbelt, then get out.
I know.
And refuse to say, hey, unless you wear your seatbelt, I'm not going to get in the car with you.
What makes me nervous is when I'm in the car with someone and they're buckled up, but they're doing this. I'm driving.
Yeah.
Ooh, snaps! I'm listening to this song. It's so great. And I'm freaking out because they're starting to swerve on the road.
Right.
I'm like, hey, put your phone down. Because you know them. I mean, have you guys seen them? You're driving down the road, and all of a sudden, someone's kind of crossing the line. You're like, are they sleepy? Are they drunk? Can you pass them? Nope. What are they doing? They're on the phone, distracted driving.
Now, do any of your friends text and drive?
I've seen it.
Yeah. What about y'all? Have y'all done it yet? Are you driving yet?
Yeah, I drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing is even if you don't text and drive, and that phone goes off, and you look at that phone, you're taking your eye off that phone for 3 seconds.
Sure.
Or off the road for 3 seconds, just by picking the phone up and looking at it and putting it back down. Well, as we teach in our classes, that double yellow line that's in the middle of the highway, like right out here in front of us, is only 12 inches wide. Well, at 12 inches, you're traveling at 60, 65 miles an hour, very easy to go over that double yellow line just in those 3 seconds.
Yeah, and I just think that you're so used to doing it. You're so used to checking your phone.
It's just habit.
It's hard to set it down and not touch it. And you can put a setting on your phone that'll text back, I'm driving, it'll stop the messages. You can do that, but often people end up turning those off because it keeps sending that message.
Well, I got one more question for both of them. How could we, with the Highway Patrol or the parents out here, what kind of message could we give the kids to keep them from texting and driving? I mean, what would actually reach them? I've seen, I don't know if you've ever seen the texting and driving commercial they've got where they actually bring somebody out that was involved in a crash that the driver hit them with texting and driving. But what do you think would actually get through to the students?
A lot of social media because teenagers nowadays are really on their phones all the time. And I was actually in an accident with a texting. And
Really?
Yes, in my driveway.
Wow.
Oh my
Texting
goodness.
and driving, and he ran a stop sign and T-boned me, but
Wow.
no one was hurt.
Well, you're lucky.
Very.
Because, I mean, it could be higher speed. You live on a low-speed road, but if it's a higher-speed road, it would have been the same circumstance, except for it would have been a lot worse
I was
off.
on a higher speed road too.
Oh, well, okay.
Oh, no.
What about you? Do you know anything?
From somebody that experienced it firsthand can change your view on
Well, we may have you a job now, so.
I'll be like, yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, it's hard to make it real. It's hard to make it important and saying, when you're driving, don't text and drive because that's an easy statement, but I hate to do it. And then influencing others to do it and just encouraging that when you're in the car with them, I'm going to have to get out. Like, if you're going to keep doing this, I got to get out.
And I know I was listening to one of these movie stars the other night. The phone, and it's not just kids. I mean, it's adults too.
Oh, absolutely.
It's an addiction. It's not a habit, or it's an addiction
I know.
where they have to have that phone. I've got a 12-year-old, and he's YouTubing and watching YouTube, watching and he's crazy about it. And if I take it away from him, it kills him. And I learned with my older son that, if I take his car away, well, I'm just having to take him back and forth. But if I take that phone away from him, then it really affects him.
Right.
Are y'all the same way?
Well, now, Sergeant Bailey, I don't know if you know this about me, but because you may just think I do this all the time, but I'm actually a licensed professional counselor.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, so I work
Okay.
in mental health, and I actually see firsthand the addiction.
Right.
The addiction to the phone, the addiction to the social media, and people, really going through psychological withdrawals when they're not with their phone or when they don't have access
Wow.
to social media, or, if you can't take emotional response for them to not have that connection. So you guys start practicing now. Start practicing the disconnection now, because the younger you are, the easier it is to change the behavior of putting your phone down and encouraging others versus the older we get, the harder it is to change our
Right.
ways. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining
Yeah,
us.
thank you.
Anything else you want to say to your friends out there before you go?
Who's going to win tonight? All right, thank y'all for coming.
Thank you. Sergeant Bailey, while we wait for our next guest to come up here, other reasons, that people get in the car and think, it's not going to be me, would be I'm a good driver.
Right.
I'm in a big truck, I'm safe. It's a short trip, or I forgot.
Right. And I tell you, and with my demographic of people, we were raised with no seatbelts in the cars.
Absolutely.
Until 1969, it wasn't mandatory that seatbelt was an option.
Right. We talked about some of the old
right.
cars.
And where I rode at was in the back window of my mom and dad's car. That was my riding place because my sister and myself fought all the time. We tried to do the imaginary line. That didn't work out.
Yeah.
So, but if you talk to some of the older people, they say, well, they don't make cars like they used to. That cars are, they crumble up and they, total out, where an old car, just a little dent in a fender. There's a study where they took a 57 Chevy and a 2007 or 2017 Chevy and just run them head on. It might have been Vince and Larry that done that, but they run them head on. And what the statistics show, they had sensors in the dummies, that the driver of the 2017 actually survived the crash, where the one in 1957 didn't. And that's because the engineers have designed the vehicles to wrap around the passenger compartments. They're there to absorb energy. And that's the reason it's so important to have that seatbelt there, is because we want you to stay put where you're at,
In the
instead of outside the vehicle or in the back seat or wherever.
Well, I don't want my face to hit the pavement.
No.
Or to hit the windshield.
Right, or being laying out in the middle of the road and people
Get
going,
run over.
I wonder what they were doing going down through there. So
No, that's one of the things that you got to think about is your head going through the windshield.
Right.
And an airbag's not going to necessarily protect you.
okay,
Yeah.
I think we're supposed to have Trooper Anderson come over next.
I know, but I don't have a whiteboard to understand what's going
Yeah.
on. But that's okay. I mean, what's over here to the right is what the big draw is that rollover simulator, and we're going to pan over there right now so you can see it.
All right, Nick, have you got me on? Have you got me on, Nick, at the rollover simulator? All right. I'm back online.
I need you to.
We're going to go back to the desk here in a moment, and then we're going to interview Travis Smith.
I keep hitting the table.
I'm over here at the rollover simulator.
Okay.
Guys, review is- No, Mr. State Trooper, sir.
Just Chuck.
Chuck. Okay, can you throw me a dummy?
We'll try.
Throw me a dummy. What happens if you don't buckle up? Kind of looks like panels. Here we go. They're rolling. Oh no! Trapped in the bottom.
See, they came out underneath there.
Yeah, that'd be a bad place to be in a wreck.
It would be. He did get crushed by the vehicle, but
That'd be one of them like Trooper Harmon, or Lieutenant Harmon kept saying. Saw this one, would the seatbelt made a difference? They would check yes.
Yeah, we'd check yes on that for sure.
And the knock
We
on the
got a
door.
top report, yes, if the seatbelt would have made a difference.
That's pretty. Back to Katie and Sergeant here in just a moment. We're ready to go back on the table.
We'll just do it. We get
Okay, yeah, wow.
back on.
Hi, Katie Burns, still here at the THP Tailgating for Safety, Sergeant Bailey, and now I am joined with Omni Health's Travis Smith.
Hey, Katie, thanks for having me here.
Absolutely, we're glad that you're here. We just panned over to the rollover simulator. Did you get to see that, Travis?
I did. I'm glad I don't get to get in it.
I am glad it is not a virtual experience for us today, because I'm sure I would end up in that in order to...
Very entertaining from a distance.
Yes, there is a dummy in there that shows you what happens if you're not wearing your seatbelt and how you will likely fall out of the car and onto the pavement. But tell me a little bit about why this event is important to you, Travis, talking about safety of the players today, because you have an important role always during game day.
Well, I own Omni Rehab, me and my business partner, and we have been here covering ball games for Bledsoe and Sequatchie County high schools for almost 20 years now.
Wow.
We're actually starting to see the players bringing their kids back in here that we worked with years ago. So one of the things that we're doing, I'm a physical therapist, but I'm also a certified athletic trainer. So I work a lot with sports injuries, and we've been able to, over that 20 years, see a lot of injuries happening here. And one of the things that I was thinking about today, seeing all these the THP representatives here and the troopers, is just how important safety equipment is. And you know, in football we have shoulder pads and helmets and thigh pads and all those kinds of things. But when I start looking at this rollover, it makes me remember how important seatbelts are.
Right.
You know, you'd never send your kid out on the football field without a helmet or shoulder pads.
Yeah.
You sure wouldn't put them out there without their seatbelt.
Right. And you have 2 kids, so I know that this is, you know, an important topic for you, important topic, you know, for your personally, for your parents. Did you grow up with that message?
No, I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and I laid in the back seat of the car all the way to Florida.
Right.
I've stood between my parents in the front seat all the way to Dayton, Ohio.
Right.
I completely was a child of the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
You know, of that as far as seatbelt safety. But I tell you what, as a therapist and working with injuries, there is a huge difference between rehabbing someone in an accident who was wearing their seatbelt and working with a broken shoulder or something, as opposed to someone who didn't have their seatbelt and then we're treating traumatic brain injuries and broken necks.
Well,
and
that's
things
teaching
like
people how to use their hands again and how to walk again.
Absolutely, it's traumatic brain injury stuff that happens, and if you're fortunate enough to live through the accident without a seatbelt, you're going to have a tremendous recovery process, having to deal with that, dealing with all the rehab and seeing, and then just watching the families of what they go through and the remorse of if I'd have just taught him to do that. Right.
Yeah.
Just wear your seatbelt.
I know. I know that it's challenging for people to live with.
Absolutely.
Well, and I know, you know, when I played football, my son played football, you know, usually concussion's probably the hottest topic right now.
Yes.
And that would probably be one of your least in a crash that you would have to rehab. Or, I mean, yeah, sure, I'm sure there's concussions, but when you got bleeding on the brain and all this other stuff, and then multiply that with broken bones and or amputated limbs, and try to learn how to tie your shoe again, or you know, to me, it's, you know, it's tremendous, a lot more work. Just not wearing that seatbelt.
Yes, absolutely. There's just no comparison. And I still hear a few people say things like, "I'm going to be in control of the vehicle. Seatbelts actually, you know, if I'd had my doctor told me if I'd had my seatbelt on, I would have been dead." Those, you hear those stories every once in a while, but those are ridiculous and few and far between.
Well, I know when we write, a lot of times we'll write seatbelt citations, and you know, and it's a $30 fine. They'll say, well, you know, if I run into a river, if my car catches on fire, I want to be able to get out of the car. Well, if you're that scared, which in 30 years, I maybe worked one that somebody's run in the river
Right.
and actually drowned, and you know, we had some cars that caught on fire. But if you're that afraid of it, go to O'Reilly's or something and get a $6 seatbelt cutter.
Yeah.
You know, if you're that afraid because I've never seen in my 30 years, I've never seen a seatbelt that didn't work.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
they just, they're well put together and they do their purpose.
And it's very important to be able to be awake when you need to let that seatbelt off.
Yes.
Well, I mean, and that's a really good point in that you haven't seen seatbelts fail.
Hmm. I have not.
You've not seen the seatbelts fail. It's just the people, the humans using them,
Right.
that fail to use them.
Right. And a lot of times it's just habit. I mean, just reach up and grab that seatbelt and put it on. And once it becomes a habit, then you won't even think about it when you get in that car.
Right. And so it's a good time to start now. You can go over, you can take that buckle pledge that we have here today, and even behind the buckle pledge, we have a prize for you when you sign it. We're going to do a drawing, and they're going to talk about it, you know, who the winner is at halftime. So that's going to be very, you know, nice event
great.
for you guys today. Have you taken the buckle pledge yet?
I have not. I've been down there taping and getting ready for the game.
Yeah.
So I've not been, I just came up here to talk to you guys for a few minutes.
Well, tell me a little bit before I let you go, Travis. How are the players today? Have you seen them? I mean, big rivalry.
Like I said, we work with both teams, and
Yeah.
I think both teams take this game more serious over the last 20 years. If they played each other,
Yeah.
if they played every game all season long like they played each other with the intensity they play each other tonight,
Yeah.
they'd beat everybody else they played all year long.
There's so much excitement here today. You can really feel it. The cheerleaders are behind the camera. You know, everybody's here. Everybody's excited for this game. Small town football. I mean,
Yeah.
they've been looking forward to it since the season started.
Yeah,
The big rivalry.
that's right.
Okay, Travis. Anything else before you go?
let's go have a good, safe game. I hope
Yeah.
I'm extremely bored tonight.
I hope so too, and I hope everybody drives home wearing their seatbelt.
That's right.
Okay.
Thank you for being here.
Thank
Hey guys,
you,
Thank you
Travis.
for letting me come out here and talk with you.
Yes. Okay. Sergeant Bailey,
Yes.
what is something that you think would be helpful for parents to do to get their kids to buckle up?
Well, the biggest thing is wear the seatbelt yourself. I go to a lot of elementary schools and talk to kids and ask them if they would ride in their car seat or wear
Yeah.
their seatbelt. All of them raise their hand. And about 95% of them, when I ask them if their parents raise their hand, if they've ever seen their parent without a seatbelt on, they'll raise their hand too.
Right.
So those kids are going to learn from you, okay? And the best thing you could do for them is set an example by wearing it yourself.
Right. In therapy, we call that modeling.
Oh, I don't know.
Modeling.
I don't know those big words.
Model putting that seatbelt on. I mean,
Right.
can you imagine? You know, a lot of times we're out here in the country, and you might send your grandkids out with their grandfather in his old truck that doesn't have enough seatbelts, or can't really find the seatbelts anymore because they're shoved down in the back pockets.
Right.
And you just think, well, they're just going down the road with Grandpa in his old truck. Wouldn't that be a tragedy?
Yes, it would. And you know, I've actually been on accident scenes where the parents actually blame themselves because the child had got killed in a car crash.
Oh.
And that's one of the most heart-wrenching things that you
Right.
can actually witness is that.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. Okay, guys, we're going to get a few more guests on here. We have some Sequatchie County cheerleaders. Bledsoe. I'm sorry, what was I thinking? Oh, I do have both. I thought I saw purple. Sequatchie, I know you. She's so cute. Bledsoe, Sequatchie cheerleaders. I mean, have we got a cheer for Buckle Up? No, we have prepared. Buckle up for safety. Okay, guys, tell me who we have here on our left.
Ava Land and Emily Price, Morgan Campbell, Chloe Singleton.
Okay, guys, I mean, are you okay sitting across from each other on this table?
Yeah.
That's good. It's good to be friendly before the game. What does this game mean to you guys?
To us, it means a lot. There's a thing called the stump that
Who usually takes it home?
Sequatchie.
Awkward.
We also have a spirit stick, and it's like passed between the cheerleaders, and the
Yeah.
stump is mainly between the football players.
Okay.
Passed on.
Okay. So who's got the spirit stick right now?
Sequatchie.
Oh my. It's awkward. Okay, guys, did you take the buckle pledge?
Have you been
this is
over and
awkward
taken the
again.
buckle?
Guys, you gotta go over. Here it is. Here, I don't have enough tickets right here, but you go over here.
Yeah, I
and
actually
sign
did one of
some.
those. Yeah.
You did. Okay, the buckle
Great.
pledge. That's good. Maybe you'll win. Okay. Now, do you guys do distracted driving, texting, social media when you drive? Can you drive?
Yes.
Okay. Good. And do you wear your seatbelt? Do you get in a car with someone who's not wearing their seatbelt?
No.
Really? I mean, did you hear what could happen earlier? Were you listening? They become like an object in the car if they're not wearing a seatbelt. You want to say
That's
that one
right.
more time?
Yeah, they become a object inside the vehicle. Even if you watch the rollover, you can see that dummy moving around inside the vehicle. Anything that's loose inside that vehicle, including humans or pets, becomes a object that can hurt you, even though you're wearing your seatbelt, doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. I mean, look who we have right now joining us. There's a reason that's Vince and
And Larry.
Larry. And what happened to them? What's their job?
I don't know.
You never.
Trying to figure that out.
Well, there are crash test dummies. Okay.
They didn't wear their seatbelt. No?
Right.
Thank
They're-
you for joining us, guys. Anything else you want to say before we close? We would like to say that no matter how the game goes, when we come as a team, it's all about safety. Oh my goodness.
All right.
Say that one more time.
No matter how the game goes, when we all come together, it's all about safety.
All about safety. Thank you. Y'all look so cute.
Thank you.
Bye. See you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Commercial break. Thank the Lord.
Julie coming on?
I am a Tennessee State Trooper. I am a servant of the people and a member of a professional team. I am held to a higher standard. I am sworn to uphold the constitutions of the United States and the great state of Tennessee. To protect the innocent, the weak, and the peaceful, and to respect the rights of all citizens to liberty, equality, and justice. I will never allow my integrity to be questioned, always doing what is right legally and morally. I will serve with loyalty to this state, its citizens, the Highway Patrol, and my fellow troopers, and will never bring shame or reproach upon my badge or the uniform I wear. I will perform my duty with honor and make the trooper values a part of my daily life and character. I wear this badge and uniform with pride, for I know that many are called, but few are chosen, and stand ready to say, "Here am I, send me," for I am a Tennessee State Trooper. Are you ready to answer the call and be chosen?
We started together. Together. We're gonna finish. We're gonna finish. Together now. Together now. Screaming left, right, left. Screaming left, right, left. Right on, right on. Right on, right on. Screaming left, right, left. Screaming left, right, left. While we sing this song. While we sing this song. Left foot, left foot, left foot, left foot.
There you are, Joe. Hey, Mom. I think I got everything.
I'm good, thank you.
Hey, how you doing? Have a good time now, okay? Okay. Right.
Hey, all good?
Thanks, man.
Anytime.
This is the one knock I dread, and it never gets easier.
Check this out. I just got my new Mountain Valley Bank You Choose Rewards credit card.
I choose rewards. I want a boat.
Oh man, I choose rewards. I'm the one with the card, but I chose the You Choose Rewards card because for every dollar I spend, I earn a point. Then I trade my points in for rewards.
But the cards I got right now are killing me with interest.
Dylan, in that case, you probably need the Mountain Valley Bank Visa Classic card. That is the low rate card. But either way, Mountain Valley Bank offers an option for a balance transfer.
I thought you said they had 3 cards, though.
Yeah, the other one is a secure card. Man, that'd be great for your eldest when he goes to college.
He's not getting a credit card.
Oh, man, you don't understand. You come to the bank, open up an account, that establishes his credit limit. He can't spend more than that, so there's no debt. Just give away for him to earn credit.
Mountain Valley Bank's thought of everything. But Marvin, I still think I want a boat.
So do I.
Brought to you by
Hello, thank you for tuning in. My name is Katie Burns, and I'm excited to talk with you today about how to live well.
Okay, welcome to the Albert and Billy Show on WUAT and Channel 18 Valley TV.
Number on the left.
Ben Buckner here, General Manager of Victory Pre-Owned of Dunlap. I'm here to let everyone know that Victory offers a full-service garage open to the public. Our mechanics are ASE certified and locally known and have over 20 years of experience. From our $29.95 oil change to complete car care, no job is too big or too small. Come in and check us out. 15480 Rankin Avenue, right in the middle of Dunlap, Tennessee.
Getting a home loan has traditionally been a huge hassle, a lengthy process full of stress and paperwork. But it doesn't have to be that way. For members of River Valley Ag Credit, it's as easy as a few clicks on our website. So whether you're looking to build or purchase your dream home, build onto your existing home, or refinance, at River Valley Ag Credit, we make everything a little easier.
Lending support for generations. River Valley Ag Credits.
Katie Burns at the Tennessee Highway Patrol Tailgating for Safety Bledsoe Telephone Cooperative, Citizens Tri-County Bank. I'm joined here again with Sergeant Bailey. We're going to continue to talk about driving safety, buckle up, the dangers of distracted driving. And my next guest is Tommy Lane. He is the Vice President, the Board of Controls, TSSAA, but he might look awfully familiar for you. today. This is a big day for him also, as he is the principal of Sequatchie High School. Tommy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you
for having me.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about what this day means to you as the principal.
As a principal, it's everything to us. I believe we'll have a relationship going, and it's good.
Yes, sir. And TSSAA, you want to say a little bit about your role there?
Well, I represent Southeast Tennessee. There's Bledsoe County is one of them. Sequatchie, Marion, Grundy, Hamilton, Riggs, Ray, Meigs, and Polk. We control all the sports in the state. Rule on any hardships.
Really trying to bring awareness to concussions. Tell about a little bit about what the coaches have to go through in order to coach, which is, and I'll tell you this, you may not know it, but it's actually filtered down to the youth associations and the youth football.
They, of course, they have their training they have to go through. They have the test.